Hey guys, and welcome to Jay's Nest. Today, I'm outside with my diapers. I have them on a line. It's kind of rigged up. But today we're going to talk about drying your clothes on a clothesline. I'm going to give you some tips that I've found over the years while drying my clothes on the clothesline. I'm in no way an expert on any of this. I'm just kind of sharing what I found, and if you guys have any tips that I don't mention, please leave them down below because it'll be helpful for people coming across this video. Tip number 1, roll your diapers in a towel before hanging them to dry. It quickens the dry time. This is great for hanging them inside or even outside, and this hack will save you hours. Yes, it'll save you hours on your dry time, especially if you're hanging inside. When you hang dry inside, it does take a little bit longer because there's not sun there and fresh air constantly blowing on them. So rolling your diapers in a towel, in a dry towel, will definitely help with the dry time. Tip number 2, you can dry your diapers literally anywhere. You can hang them off anything with a ledge. Some common places you'll find diapers in my house are on my shower rod, the side of the couch, the edge of a dresser, even on the edge of my fence. Anything with a ledge could definitely be a place to dry your diapers. I've even seen people use just flat surfaces, just laying their diapers flat on a table, flat on the ground, just anywhere. You can literally dry your diapers on anything. Tip number 3 is a DIY clothesline. Now, the DIY clothesline that I have are just things that I've found around my house to put a clothesline up with. I haven't gone out and bought anything. We had a little rope that I kind of tied up and tied it to this metal piece. Truthfully, I don't even know what these things are called, but I just kind of rigged up together a little DIY clothesline, which was pretty simple for me to put together with some of the things that I had in my shed. Of course, you could definitely get creative and come up with different ways to make your own clothesline with things that are around your house as well. Tip number 4 is a drying rack. Drying racks can be used outside or inside, and you can even create your own DIY drying rack. I've seen some really cool things on Pinterest of people making their own DIY drying racks. If you're handy, if you're crafty, if you're good with tools, this could definitely be something that you could DIY yourself. Also, you could get a store-bought one. I've seen some really cool store-bought drying racks that you can buy online, that you can buy at the store. Drying racks are a pretty common thing, so it's definitely something that you could search for on the internet or maybe even a local store and find. Tip number 5, you could use something like a clip and dry laundry hanger. I bought this off of Amazon. It was pretty affordable. It's not exactly my favorite way to hang dry, but it definitely is an option. It's great for pocket diapers and covers. It's great for single inserts. Truthfully, this is not my favorite way to hang dry pre-folds and flats, just because there's not enough room on this hanger and it just doesn't get enough airflow to everything that's in there. So it's definitely not my favorite for flats and pre-folds, but it's excellent for inserts and also it's excellent for covers. Now, when it comes to hanging, there are so many different ways that you can hang your diapers. So many possibilities. There are so many different types of diapers. You have covers, you have pockets, you have all-in-ones, flats, pre-folds. You even have fitted diapers. There are just so many different types of diapers that you can hang on the line. And sometimes people warn against hanging your diapers a certain way. So let's touch on that a little bit. Some say to hang your diapers sideways only. And hanging your diapers like this actually takes up a lot more room on your line. Personally, I haven't noticed a difference in hanging my covers or pockets sideways as opposed to long ways. I always clip my diapers at the very back where the tabs are, so that is where I clip the diapers. I always make sure that when I clip the diapers, I don't pull on that back elastic. So if you are using clips to put your diaper on the line, make sure you're not stretching out the diaper really far, that you're stretching out that back elastic. Make sure that there's a little bit of slack there. Now let's talk about all-in-ones for a minute. There are a lot of ways to hang all-in-ones because there are a lot of different types of all-in-ones. You can have an all-in-one that's all sewn in as one piece. You can have an all-in-one with flaps hanging from one side of the diaper. You can have an all-in-one with flaps hanging from both sides of the diaper. Sometimes people say not to hang your diapers a certain way when it comes to all-in-ones, but I think at the end of the day it comes down to what type of all-in-one you have. I'm just going to give you some suggestions when it comes to hanging all-in-one diapers. I'm not sure if there is a right or wrong way, but there are definitely certain ways that put less weight on your elastics while you're trying to hang dry them. Of course, you can always hang them sideways, but it does take a lot of room on your drying line. So unless you have a really huge drying line and just a few all-in-ones to dry, this might not be realistic for you if you're trying to line dry a few days worth of diaper laundry. Hanging it sideways also takes a lot of diaper clips. One way that I really enjoy hanging my all-in-ones is by the flaps. But a con to this is that it'll cause the soaker to be tugged at where it's sewn into the diaper. So you might see some wear where the flap and the diaper are sewn together and where they meet. But I found that this doesn't put really any pressure on the elastics as opposed to another way that you could hang this. You could also hang the diaper by the opposite end of where the flaps are at. So the flap is dragging towards the bottom of the diaper, towards the ground. And I found this to actually be really strenuous on the elastics. Because if you think about it, when the diaper is wet, it's a lot heavier. And so when you get this flap wet and it's hanging, it's going to be really heavy and it's going to tug on those elastics. So I found this not to be the best way to hang all-in-ones. People do hang their all-in-ones like this. Personally, I wouldn't suggest it. But if it works for you and you don't see any wear, then this is a way that you can hang your diapers. But I personally would not hang my diapers like this. So there are multiple ways you can dry your all-in-ones. I found this little Joey THX Happy Flute knockoffs, the ones that are all designed similarly. I found that snapping these inside out actually helps them dry quicker. These diapers do take forever to dry. Just a warning, if you do have these diapers, sometimes it can take days to dry. Even in the dryer, they take forever to dry. They hold a C shape, which makes it really hard for it to line dry and even dry inside the dryer. So snapping it inside out onto each other is really helpful to help with dry time. It also helps with sunning the diaper. Since it holds its C shape, if you have a stain on the inside of that C, where the micro fleece is, it's hard for the sun to reach that. So if you snap it inside out, on itself, it can actually help, one, the diaper get sunned, and two, it can also help it dry a little quicker, though these diapers do take forever to dry. And I found that I don't even need a clip for this diaper. Just snapping it inside out like this works really well. When hang drying inside, you can literally dry it off of any surface. My favorite place is to do it in the shower. But if you're hanging like this, especially if it's flats or pre-folds or inserts, it takes up a lot of room. So here's my tip for you that I have found in the cloth diapering world. Hangers. Use hangers. This is an awesome way to hang dry tons of things with just a little bit of space. You can hang so many inserts, so many flats, so many pre-folds without taking up pretty much any space at all. You can hang dry 5 times the amount of things that you could hang dry before if you're just laying it across the rod. Also, another awesome thing is that I can fit 2 pockets or 2 covers per hanger. So it doesn't take up much room at all, which I think is amazing. Also, if you plan to hang dry inside, I highly suggest that you use this towel hack, that you roll your inserts and also your covers, pockets, all-in-ones, whatever you're hang drying, in a towel, roll them up, press on it to kind of squeeze all that liquid out, Also, if you have any type of fan, I highly suggest that you use it. A lot of times in rooms while you're hang drying inside, there's just not enough airflow. So using a fan really helps get those diapers dry within a decent amount of time. Sometimes when you're hanging inside, it can take hours for your things to dry. So having that fan can actually cut down a few hours of that dry time. One thing you may or may not know is that when you hang dry your diapers, they do get crunchy. They do, the absorbent materials. Not so much the PUL covers or the pocket diapers, but your flats, your pre-folds, and your inserts do get crunchy when you line dry them, whether that's inside or outside. And that kind of can get annoying, dealing with crunchy diapers. Though when you hang them outside, they smell so fresh and so nice, which is amazing, but it's the stiff part that really sucks. So I'm going to give you my tip on what works if you're not trying to use a dryer. What I do is I rub them together. That seems to work really well. You could also take one flat or one pre-fold or one insert and rub it against itself. I'm specifically using a flat cloth diaper because I'm in the middle of the flats and hand washing challenge, which means no washer, no dryer. So this method seems to be working out really well. If you guys have any tips on how to soften up your flat diapers or your pre-folds or your inserts when you line dry, make sure to leave that down below. I'm sure there's a better method to this than me just rubbing them all against each other, but this actually does work really well. Not to mention that you're getting a really good workout while you're doing this. Another thing that you could do is just fling it around. Honestly, this is not really the best way. I fling it around on all four sides. I don't really see too much of a difference when I do this. I guess it depends on the flat that you're using. Specifically, like stretchy flats, this works decently for stretchy flats, but for flour sack towels and other flats, I feel like it's a waste of energy. But it might work for you. For stretchy flats, I like to grab the opposite ends, so the diagonal corners, and swing it back and forth. I found side to side works best, though I do kind of fling it all over the place in this video. But side to side works really well. Since it is a stretchy material, it softens up so much quicker than anything else as far as flats go. So this works really well for me. It only takes a few minutes of doing this, and plus it's a really good upper body workout. Of course, you can avoid all of this manual labor and just go with a dryer. Put it on low in the dryer, maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes in the dryer, and you're good to go. Some pros to hang drying is that your diapers smell really, really fresh when you put them on the line outside. And also while you're doing it outside, it gets out most of the stains, so it's not a harsh way to get stains out. The way you can get stains out is make sure that it's wet before you put it outside and keep it in the direct sunlight, and that helps get out most of the stains. Sometimes for stubborn stains, it doesn't always work. Also, this is less energy. It doesn't really take up really any energy at all. You just leave it to nature to dry your diapers. This is an awesome option if you don't have access to a dryer. Part of the flats and hand washing challenge that I'm doing is no washer, no dryer. So hang drying, whether it be inside or outside, is an awesome option for those who don't have access to a dryer. Also, this is perfect for your PUL covers, for your pocket diapers, because it's less wear and tear over the years. I've actually found that the dryer, especially when you use high heat, is really rough on the PUL or TPU that the diapers are made of. And PUL and TPU aren't made to last forever. They're just not. And I found that babying your diapers, treating them like they're a baby, treating them with care, and letting them air dry is better for them than the dryer. Some cons to air drying, especially when you're outside, specifically when you're outside, is that you're exposed to nature, which means bugs. Sometimes bugs like to land on your diapers. Sometimes a bird might poop on it. I haven't had that experience, but I have seen people who have. if it's really windy outside, your stuff can blow away. I've had that happen a few times. Not very fun because then it lands in the dirt and it needs to be rewashed. They get stiff when they're hang drying, both inside and outside. They get stiff, so that kind of sucks. Also, if you're hang drying, especially with that octopus hanger, that clip and dry hanger, it's not that great for flats and pre-folds. It's great for inserts, and it's great for pockets and also covers. It's okay for all-in-ones depending on how you choose to hang it, but it's definitely not great for flats and pre-folds because there's not enough room on it, and it also takes a lot longer to dry since there's not enough room for airflow. And those are my tips for hang drying, whether it be inside or outside. Of course, I don't know everything there is to hang drying, so if you guys have any tips, if you guys have anything to add on to this, leave it down below. It'll definitely be helpful for other people coming across this video wanting to know about hang drying. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.